So JD Vance and I have exactly two things in common. One, we're both white. And two, we just got back from the Olympics in Italy. That's it. That's the entire list right there. Because unlike JD Vance, I'm not a deeply racist person who makes shitty remarks about my own kids. And I'm not desperate to bootlick my way through life. And I'm certainly not going to be caught lecturing Olympians about dedication and focus. But here's JD Vance, a man whose most athletic accomplishment is probably walking to the fridge, fresh off a plane from Italy, telling people who've spent their entire lives becoming the best in the world to shut the fuck up and know their place. And real quick, I'm Lauren Paritra. If you're new here, please take a moment to subscribe. I currently still have a lead on Katie Miller, the woman married to Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the pale white nationalist from Santa Monica who looks like he was gastated in a basement, the guy behind all of this ICE terror. Yeah, she's married to him, and she's married to him on purpose. So she's building her podcast on the backs of kidnapped children and Latinos. So consider every sub, every like, every share, every hype, every comment. Consider that an FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller. Skier Hunter Hess said he felt conflicted about representing America under the current administration's immigration policies.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. I think for me, it's more I'm representing my friends and family back home, the people that represent it before me, all the things that I believe are good about the U.S. I just think if it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S.
Fair. Trump called him a real loser. And then enter Rick Scott, Florida senator, who said athletes who criticize the country should get their uniforms stripped. Of course, Rick Scott with stripping requests. Oh, Rick Scott. If you're not familiar, Rick Scott is the man who oversaw the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history when he was the CEO of Columbia HCA. The company paid $1.7 billion in fines. Billion with a B, yes, billion. Rick Scott walked away rich and then somehow convinced Florida to elect him governor, then senator, and now he's lecturing Olympians about honor and representing your country. Rick Scott, whose company committed fraud so massive, it still holds records. And he's trying to say he's concerned about the integrity of Team USA. You genuinely cannot make this shit up. And Vance, his most brilliant contribution?
Yes, you're going to have some Olympic athletes who pop off about politics. I feel like that happens every Olympics. My advice to them would be to try to bring the country together. And when you're representing the country, you're representing Democrats and Republicans. You're there to play a sport, and you're there to represent your country and hopefully win a medal. You're not there to pop off about politics.
Okay, who taught him pop off? And why is it coming out of his mouth? Pop off about politics? Like Hess staged some dramatic protest instead of just having normal human emotions about 5-year-olds getting detained with Spider-Man backpacks and thrown in prison, internment camps. We're seeing videos today of 3-year-olds in prison. And you want people to say, just a partisan issue? No, he's supposed to represent the US and he felt conflicted. And that is very real. He didn't refuse to compete. He didn't burn the flag or stage a walkout. He expressed his feelings when asked. And he clarifies that he loves America and he's committed to Team USA. And for that, our president called him a loser. And the vice president, who doesn't even do his own job, said, just shut up and ski. And a senator who committed the largest Medicare fraud on a historic scale suggested stripping him of his uniform? Feels a little coded. So other athletes are taking notes. Chris Lillis raised similar concerns about social issues. Now everyone's watching what happens when you speak. The U.S. Olympic Committee is literally monitoring harassment and prioritizing Hess's safety as he prepares to compete next week. An American athlete needs security because he had thoughts and the president got mad about it. Conservative accounts are losing their mind. Darn right, wrote somebody who's never trained for anything harder than finding the remote. Libs of TikTok chimed in. Hess is disgraced for the crime of having opinions. Vance, a man who just treats showing up to his job like optional when he's not at Disneyland, is putting up this uppity athlete shtick and trying to put him in his place. Tim Miller nailed it. Actually, in a free country, grown adults who have worked their ass off to achieve success in their field can say whatever the hell they want. We're talking about a country where representing America means representing the government's position, where athletes are props for nationalist glory and they're not actual real human people with brains and values. Rick Scott, again, can't say this enough, is the Medicare fraud man. And he wants to strip athletes from their uniforms? Know your strengths, Rick Scott. The same people who spent years screaming about cancel culture and free speech, now they're using the power of the presidency, the vice presidency, and Congress to tell athletes to shut up or face consequences. They don't want anyone with opinions. They want performers. They want flag-draped mannequins who just smile and do whatever these two ding-dongs want them to do. Not people who wrestle with real emotions of what it means to represent a country going through absolute fucking chaos. So when people with platforms use said platforms to express doubt, to ask hard questions, or to admit, like, hey, we're conflicted here, it gives permission to everyone else to feel the same way. It reminds us that patriotism can include criticism. I do the work I do because I love this country and I believe that we can do better. And I love the people and the land and all the things. And I want to not see it go down this fascist garbage hole faster than it is. The backlash of these comments from these ding-dongs is designed to scare everyone into silence and make an example of one athlete so that way suddenly every other Olympian thinks twice about opening their mouth and saying what everyone else is thinking. Athletes are citizens first. They're people with families, presumably also affected by immigration policy or healthcare decisions or climate change. Telling them to shut up and perform is telling them you're not human. They're symbols, they're props, you're just designed to be our entertainment. Hess was honest about his complicated feelings. In response, the most powerful people in the country coordinated to humiliate him. A president who calls people losers on social media, a vice president who is never around ever and wearing guy liner and talking shit on the internet and saying terrible things about his own wife and kids, and then a senator who made his fortune on a Medicare fraud. Athletes are going to keep speaking anyway. We're already seeing this. Some things matter more than medals. Some principles are worth the backlash. Some of us still believe that freedom means the right to pop off about politics, especially when you're being asked to represent a country whose values you're watching erode in real time. Hunter Hess felt conflicted about representing America. Honestly, he's more thoughtful about this country and what it should stand for than the people trying to silence him. And if this video has expanded your perspective or you've enjoyed the commentary, please remember, we've got to maintain our ground on those right-wing Looney Tunes, and we can't do it without each other. So please take a moment to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover more of next, what you like, what you don't like. I do this for you, so... See, and Will is taking a nap, but oh my God, she's so cute.